I was chatting with a friend the other day who's been juggling a desk job, 2 kids, and a marathon training schedule. He kept saying, I need something that actually eases my back after a long day, but I'm scared I'll waste money on a chair that just pretends to work. I felt that hesitation because I've tried a few massage chairs that turned out to be more of a fancy recliner with a few vibrations. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The XUOXFUTZIG Intelligent Massage Chair promises a full-body experience with 6 targeted rollers, a zero-gravity mode, and built-in Bluetooth for music. The first thing I did was look at how the chair fits in a typical living room setup. The footprint is roughly the size of a standard recliner, so you won't need a whole spare room, but you do need a few extra inches on each side for the side rail that slides out when you get in. If your space is already crowded, that sliding rail could become an annoyance, especially if you have a narrow hallway. Now, about the massage itself. The 6 rollers travel along an S-curve track that mirrors the natural curve of the spine, which is a step up from the straight-line tracks you see on cheaper models. In practice, that means the rollers spend more time on the lumbar region where most of us hold tension. I tested the chair after a 10-mile run and set it to a medium-intensity, deep-kneed cycle. The rollers dug into the muscle groups around my lower back and hips without feeling like a drill. The intensity levels are truly customizable, so you can dial it down if you're just looking for a light stretch after work or crank it up on those sore muscle days. One of the biggest concerns with any home massage chair is noise. Some units sound like a washing machine on spin. This XUOXFUTZIG model runs surprisingly quietly. The motor hum stays well below conversational volume, even on the strongest setting. That makes it feasible to use while watching TV or listening to a podcast without having to crank up the volume. The Bluetooth speaker is integrated into the headrest, so you can stream a calming playlist or an audiobook while you recline, and the sound stays localized to you rather than echoing through the whole room. Comfort over time is another factor that's hard to gauge from a spec sheet. The chair is upholstered in waterproof PU leather, which feels smooth at first but doesn't get sticky with sweat after long sessions. The padding on the seat and backrest is firm enough to support a solid posture, yet it softens after a few minutes as the body settles into the zero-gravity position. I tried it for 30-minute stretches on 3 consecutive evenings, and the cushions didn't develop any lumps or hot spots. That said, if you're on the taller side, over 6 feet, you might find the footrest a little short, and you'll have to adjust the leg extensions manually each time. Control simplicity is where many chairs trip up. The XUOXFUTZIG uses a single remote with a clear layout. 1 dial for intensity, a few buttons for preset programs, and a dedicated zero-gravity toggle. There's also an app that mirrors the remote functions, but you don't need it to get the basics right. I found the learning curve minimal. After a couple of minutes, I could switch from a shiatsu program to roller stretch without looking at the manual. If you're someone who prefers a touchscreen interface, this might feel a bit old school, but the tactile buttons work reliably even when you're wearing gloves or have wet hands after a workout. So, who should actually consider buying this chair? If you're a remote worker who spends 8 or more hours at a desk, the combination of lumbar-focused rollers, quiet operation, and zero-gravity recline can replace a weekly visit to a chiropractor or massage therapist for routine tension relief. Athletes or frequent gym goers who need a deep muscle-targeted session after heavy lifting will appreciate the higher intensity settings and the ability to pair it with music for a focused recovery vibe. The waterproof upholstery also makes it a good fit for households with kids or pets because spills are easy to wipe away. On the flip side, this isn't the right pick for someone who just wants occasional light vibrations. The 6 rollers are designed for a fairly thorough treatment, so if you're only looking for a gentle back rub, you might find the chair's programs overly aggressive. Also, if you live in a small studio apartment, the sliding side rail and the need for a power outlet near the chair could become a logistical hurdle. Lastly, the price point sits above entry-level models, so if your budget is tight and you're not convinced you'll use it daily, you might be better off with a portable massage gun and a decent ergonomic chair instead. Overall, the XUOXFUTZIG Intelligent Massage Chair delivers on the promises that matter most after you actually sit in it. Targeted relief, low noise, and a realistic zero-gravity experience that doesn't feel gimmicky. It feels solid enough.